John, hi.
Hi, Evelyn. Hi, Evelyn. Hi, Rogers. Hi, Samuel. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, John. Nice to be here.
Hi, we are here.
Thank you. Hi, Stella.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, John. Good evening.
Evening, Sam. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Yes, I think let's give it a few minutes for other members to join in. When we are around 15, I think we can be able to start.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
Okay.
Hi, Emma. I can see you online.
Hi, John. Good evening,
Evening to you.
and good evening, everyone else on the call.
Good evening.
Technospark for Air, we can't see your name. Can you maybe introduce yourself? We can't tell the name.
This is Alex Barunji.
Hey, Alex, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, I'm on.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
John,
Yes, Emma.
as we wait, maybe could I send my comments on the document you shared? You keep looking through as we wait.
Well, maybe can you wait? We give it 3 minutes. I see we are 8 people. We give it 3 minutes, then we start officially so that we pick up everything and it becomes part of the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. So at exactly 6:15, we are going to be starting. The other members will be joining us on board. Tony, you are welcome to the meeting. I can see you have joined. Are you there, Tony?
Yes, I'm here, John. Good evening, and everyone.
Evening. Yes, members, I think we can now start. Other members will be getting us on board. Is it okay we start, or we give it more minutes for more members to join? Any proposals on starting?
I think let us start so that we teach people to keep time, because if we start much late, we shall push up to 9. So I propose we start now at 1:15.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Time management is very important. So if it is 6, we have to start.
If we have the executive team here, well represented, I think we will just start off.
All right. All right, thank you so much. We are going to start our meeting. I shared a quick agenda on the other chat where we are going to have an opening prayer. Then we have a communication from the interim chair and present the proposals. Then we shall have discussion of the proposals as number 3. Then we have action plan as number 4 and number 5 as closure. So I will still request Tony, who has been supporting the interim committee as the secretary, to also be documenting the key actions for this meeting. Tony, I hope that is okay with you.
It's okay, John.
All right, thank you so much. So let's have someone to give us an opening prayer. Barbara, can you pray for us?
It's okay, let us pray. Our loving Father and mighty King, we thank you and we worship your holy name. We give you all the praise and honor for this special time that you've given us as this group discusses and deliberates on a number of areas. First is an initiative that is to help all of us and see that we are able to address some of the issues related with medical and for our health. Father, I want to thank you for the ideas behind all this initiative. And King of Kings, we pray that as we discuss, we come up with solutions that will form and justify the reason why we have to start. And Father, we are praying that for your mercies and favor will go with us as we take off from today. Father, bless this meeting, sanctify it. We pray for your Holy Spirit to come and guide us, to give us insight and wisdom, for in Jesus' name I've prayed. Amen.
Amen. Thanks so much, Barbara, for that quick prayer. Yes, so maybe before we start, we will just have some quick rules. I want to request that maybe if anyone has some reaction or some point to raise, we can use the chat group, the chat section, or you can raise your hand. I'll be able to see it, then I can give you an opportunity to speak. This is to control our discussion so that we, for example, don't all of us speak at a time. We just have controlled conversations. So I want to welcome each and every one of you. Maybe just to start off, we have introduction, and I'll be requesting everyone who will be coming in or to make a contribution to also be introducing themselves, because we may not have opportunity to all of us introduce ourselves. But you can also introduce yourself in the chat. You can just put your name and anything that you'd want people to know about you so that we be able to track it from there. Yes, so my name is John Twesje Kamwaka, and I am a passionate educationist. Currently, I serve as the country director for Lively Minds Uganda. Lively Minds is an education organization. We support early childhood and education in Eastern Uganda, and I'm based in Jinja. So I'm glad to have all of you here, and I'll be leading the conversations here. Maybe just to have a quick introduction for those who may be joining the first time, because I know there are those who are joining this conversation for the first time. Yes, we are basically today discussing an idea on how we can work together as members, as individual members, to put up a medical fund, that put ourselves in an organization that can run a medical fund so that we can be able to support each other in times of critical health needs. As we know, experience has actually showed that health is one of those areas that, if not handled when, can leave someone really financially stressed. We have seen, especially during this time of COVID-19, how the medical bills have been escalating, but we know how medical fees can be so high, even in our Ugandan context. So that is the background. But also one of the other things is we need to appreciate is that when you look at majority of Ugandans are not on medical insurance. Yes, there are some people who are on medical insurance, especially those who are benefiting under employers. But research shows that that is not more than 3%. So not more than 3%, less than 3% of Ugandans are on medical insurance. And now you can imagine sometimes when you leave employment and you are not benefiting from the medical scheme of that employer, what happens next? But also we are cognizant that even when you're on medical insurance of an employer, it has limitations. There are those things it doesn't cover. It has some bills which it doesn't cover. So you could even be on medical insurance, but you still find yourself challenged to meet some of those medical needs. And also research has indicated there are very few of Ugandans and Africans in general who operate medical insurance accounts. I don't know how many of us on the call who would say I have a savings account, and this savings account is basically to take care of my medical medical needs. So you may probably you find maybe none of us or less than 1% of us. So when you have a particular medical challenge, or maybe you are dependent, your close dependent has a medical challenge, you have to run around friends looking for financial support, or you have to sell an asset, maybe land or maybe a car or anything. Or when it comes to the worst, you actually have to go to the bank and take a bank loan for you to be able to meet a medical need of yourself or your relative. So that is the background where this idea came. And we say, what if all of us came together and we agree and we put monthly savings, we build that fund so that if a member or a dependent has a medical need, then that member can be able to benefit from this fund. But most importantly is that they can be able to benefit from beyond what they're saving in this particular fund. And I wanted to raise one of the critical questions which has been coming. especially for the new members who have not been part of the conversations, which are still seeing, is that how is the how different is this fund, for example, for medical insurance? For those who have paid themselves medical insurance, you will actually note that for medical insurance, if you, for example, paid, and I used an example, last year I paid medical insurance for our son, paid 650 for the year. But during that whole year, our son never got sick. And you know, with medical insurance, you can't carry it forward. So now that means all that 650, it went to the medical insurance. So we never benefited from it. But under a fund like this, you know, you are building that fund so that even if you are not utilizing, for example, your fund in year 1 or year 2 or year 3, there is that point in time where you know you are going to be benefiting from that fund. So I thought I needed to make that in part of the conversations. So I shared, when we started this, we had members who were put as interim committee. So the interim committee has had 2 meetings, which sat and put in place proposals based on all the questions which are coming up from the members. So I shared the proposals with the members. And today we are basically here to discuss the proposals. We see what are we removing, what are we, what are we adding, so that we can be able to determine our way forward. So that is a simple introduction to today's meeting. And I don't know how best we can progress on this. One, I think I can be able to project the proposals once again so that we move one by one, or we can first, since most of the members have already read the proposals, we first take or address the other concerns that members have. What do we suggest? Can I project the proposals, we go through one by one, or we first take the concerns or the reactions to what was presented by the interim committee in the proposal document that we have? Any suggestion, members?
John, I for one, I suggest that you project, we go one by one, and then we be bringing the issues which were critical raised by members that we may need to agree on certain items, because others, there are some people are just in agreement with what you put, then we'll pay attention to those where we had many comments about.
Okay.
So you project and then we go through those which had questions.
All right.
John, Tony here. I want to agree with Stella. Let's go ahead and project, and then we discuss. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So let me pick the document and I project it. All right, can everyone see the document?
Yes, confirmed.
Yes, it's clear.
Yes. Okay. All right, thank you so much. So let me go through this. Like I said, these questions that we try to answer were the questions which we picked from all the members that were coming from all the members. So we try to answer all these questions as committees, but we know there are those that will be coming through. One of the issues that we have is about the group name. We have not yet formed the group name, but we had the proposals. We have Unity Health Care Group. Then we have Golden Medical Foundation. So we are supposed to choose a group name. Okay. So what I'm going to request is that maybe the name for today, the name may not be very important. We may not spend much time on it, but I want to request, based on these proposed names, you can, in the chat, you can actually type 1 or 2 based on your, based on your preferred choice of name. Then we'll be looking at one which is going to be taking much more of the numbers. So the other question was, how much is our annual subscription fees? So the proposal is that each member will be paying 20,000 as annual subscription fee. But in the first 1 year, every member is going to pay 50,000 shillings, which is membership and annual subscription. The reason we are saying a member we need in the first year pay for 50,000 is because there is a number of expenses that we need to be making in the first year. For example, paying for the legal fees, because we need to have a lawyer who is going to be supporting in terms of registration and all that. Then opening the account for us to operate. So that's why I are saying for the first year we pay 50,000. Then for the other years, a member will be paying 20,000 shillings. I want to propose we go through number by one, question by question. We conclude on it, then we proceed.
That one I think was seconded. People were okay with it. Personally, I'm okay.
Okay. Tony, I'm going to be asking, because I am sharing this screen, I may not be following up what is in the chat. So if there is any critical concern being raised in the chat, you will be able to pause, make me pause, and we address it. So you keep monitoring what is in the chat, Tony. Is that okay, Tony?
Noted.
Okay.
People are already suggesting the proposed names like you've guided, so we are good.
Okay. Then the monthly contribution, when we had a very big debate on how much we needed to be contributing. There are proposals of 100,000, proposals of 200,000, then proposals of 10,000, proposals of 20, proposals of 50. So after looking at all the ideas from different people, the committee proposed 50,000 per member every month. Yes, 50,000 per member. The committee noted that because of different financial status and all that, this 50,000, at least for the start, should be affordable by most of the members. If we make it high, then we'll be leaving behind majority of the people. But if we also make it so little, for example, 10, then we are going to be taking long to build this fund. Yes, so is there anyone who has a different proposal from that fee?
John, for me, my reason for bringing a proposal of 100,000, I looked at other components down, how members will benefit from the fund as 1.7%, like if you be critical sick. So Me, the problem with me, I deal with figures. I'm so much accounts person.
Yes.
So I go direct in computation and putting an assumption like assume 30 members fall sick in the year. How much will it hit the fund? Because the 1.7 is above what I've saved in a year. Assuming I've fallen sick, one of my dependents has fallen, another family. So when you do the calculation, it would hit the fund very hard. At the end of the year, we would not even have achieved the target of saving maybe 50 million if we come to such a circumstance, but we pray it doesn't. So sometimes we do risk analysis to just project and say, assume in the eventuality something bad goes and we have 30 members fall sick out of 50 in the year. What is the impact to the fund? That's how I did my calculation and proposed the 100. But we shall go by what we all agree. After looking down, the proposals were put down.
Okay.
I'm also asking, this is Mark.
Yes, Mark.
Yeah, I don't understand. I'm not following well because I'm using a small phone and I'm not seeing that. This is the money monthly per month for how long? For 10 years, 5 years, 1 year?
Yes. Thank you, Mark, for raising that question. Actually, what you have raised is another question that we want to be, we need to be answering now, because it has already been coming and we thought in this meeting we can be able to think about it. One, for the start, is that we are going to be raising it every month, but the other question is how long are we going to be paying this money? Because one, we note that the long term is that we are going to build this fund, but as we build it, we are also going to see how we can be investing. Are we helping the fund to grow by itself by investing, for example, in low risk ventures? So the plan is not to the plan is not to contribute. I mean, for members to be contributing, for example, in perpetuity. We should reach at that point when the fund is going to be self-sustaining, where members will no longer even be contributing, but we have built enough fund and it is self-sustaining. So the question of how long are we going to contribute this is something that we can, I don't know if we can determine now, or since yes, maybe we can determine it now and we say we are going to save for say 10 years, or we say, since we can always be reviewing the constitution during our annual general meetings, and those are the things maybe we can address. So Mark, the question is actually in the arena for discussion.
Okay.
John,
so
we have
first, because
okay.
Until we have agreed that, then the discussion on how much is still far. Actually, we need to first agree how many, how much, for how long, what is our target money that we want to raise, so that then we discuss that based on the facts. But if we say 100,000, then we don't know for how long and what we want to achieve, then it doesn't, we may not really get it to the bottom of it.
Okay.
While I don't really oppose the one of 100,000, but we need to know if we are going to save 100,000 and immediately we start giving it out, we may be depleting it every day. So if we say we give 100,000 for 1 year and then the fund starts supporting members, then that one is easier to decide.
Yeah, thanks,
you get
Mark.
it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Before we have another hand, yes, actually the proposal is that we are going to build this fund for the first 1 year without any payouts. So that is the proposal, though there are even other proposals that were coming in that we actually build it for 3 years without any payouts. So that is how we are building this fund. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. I see hands up. Tony, are there hands up?
Yes, I want to tell you the hands up. I saw Barbara,
Yes.
Barbara's hand, and then later Samuel.
Okay, so Barbara, then Samuel, please.
Thank you, John. To me, I was just in agreement with what you suggested in response to Mark's question, but I was thinking we'd also give ourselves a target date when we should have paid the membership to come up with the total number of members that we're looking at the end of the day. Then we're able to say that now with this membership, can we give ourselves a target to have contributed maybe like on a monthly basis, or the cash flow coming in. Then at the end of maybe after a quarter, we could also have another meeting, look at what we've done, or maybe a month, how we're performing towards this initiative we are putting up. I just want to add on what you are saying, that we are responding to Mark's question that he had. Thank you.
So Barbara, you suggested. Okay, so you suggested before we agree on that, before we finalize on how much to pay per month, we first look at how many members will sign up in the first instance.
Yes, because we have that principal member, called the principal member, then we have also other dependents. They also have to contribute towards this initiative in terms of either under the principal member or because they'll have account 1 and then account 2 that falls under that principal member. So when they contribute, when they make their contributions, I think we're able to build up the total cash flow that we're looking at, and then we're able to set the targets of how long should we contribute towards this fund, and then for how long should we break, to give us a better understanding on how we can support when such incidences fall in our midst. Thank you.
Okay.
Seconded.
All right, thank you. I hope, Tony, you are taking note of that. Then Samuel, is your hand still up? Tony, is there a hand still up or we proceed?
No, it has been lowered.
Okay. Yeah, so number 4.
So, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, Twesije. So as Barbara proposed,
yes,
I think we need to conclude. Barbara is saying that before we discuss, let's say, we say from today up to the end of maybe August, we should have all people pay the membership fee and register members. For example, if I say Mark, then I have 3 dependents and I give their names and I have paid. So we have a register. That money, that register will help us to know how many members we have. And then we discuss the issue of the contribution monthly. I think that's what Barbara is suggesting. And I don't know whether all of us will have agreed. And then we put a date, whether 30th of July, whether we say 30th of August, I don't know. For membership fee, only to express interest that I'm a member now. Then we discuss the others later.
Okay.
Agreed. It was like a suggestion from Barbara and I support it. I don't know what, but we need to agree on a date. And all members say, yeah, this is what we are going to do.
All right. I think that's, yes, I agree with that, Mark. We can propose a date, but as if we have some hands up. Tony, we have some hands up contributing.
We have Stella and Innocent. I don't know who came first. Any of them. Stella, kindly. And then Innocent comes later.
I had a hand up, John, but my contribution is in the chat.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
John, I've listened to Barbara and Maxi contribution. When we say that we first pay the membership to confirm the members who are agreeing to be part of this, we can have the members pay. But later then, when we come up to agree on amounts to contribute, and then you find maybe the members who have cleared the membership fee are able Like we set a target, like we have said, and say, okay, we want in the first year to have saved, say, 40 million. Then we say, okay, we are only 20 members who have paid. Then now that means we put the what? The subscription higher. Then you may find later, if we admit other people because we want to achieve a number of 50, they can't afford the 200 or whatever we would have agreed, then it becomes sad. So I still insist that let us first agree with the terms of what we want to guide us. Then when we have all agreed and said, I think these terms and conditions are good enough to guide us to achieve our target, then we pay the membership, because by paying membership, you have agreed to what, to go by the constitution or what we have discussed here, which will be drafted by the legal person as a binding person. That is my perspective.
Fine, I think it is good.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. I think, yes, Stella, you have brought it in the right way, because whatever we are proposing, yes, be put in the constitution. So once we have put the constitution, meaning the people who will be signing the constitution will now be our guiding document, and it will be specifying the membership and the monthly subscription. So I think it's better to agree, because we better agree on these figures. Then yes, then we can be able to proceed.
For 3 years.
Yes. So members, I think looking at what Stella, that contribution, the way she has explained, I think we need to agree on that figure. So can we go with?
Yeah, I had agreed to 100.
Okay.
How do we agree on this now? How do we agree on this? I think 100 works. She convinced us and we agreed.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah, this is Rogers. Let me just share my experience with saving. Maybe it can benefit this new family. I'm excited to be here. I subscribe to quite a number of insurance, how can I call them, ventures, and we have like a time period within which to save, after which you get your benefits. So like 5 years, some are 3 years, others are 7. Actually, I have one of 7 years, another of 5 years, another one of 3 years. But with these insurance companies, the amount I pay is flat. It's the same every month. So it runs, this is the same. And if you default, you get actually like reprimanded. So I'm proposing that if we could borrow from what I've been seeing in other insurance companies, we could say we are going to save 100,000. Maybe we can say for 1 full year, because now that one will help us to generate really reasonable capital or reasonable funds that are able to start helping members even after 12 months. So we could say 100,000 after the next, within the next 12 months. Then now the subsequent years, we could contribute 50,000, and we say this will be done until we clock 5 years. So the first year 100,000, then the last 4 years 50,000 per month, and then we can, like someone will say, are we going to contribute in perpetuity? Maybe no, because you may reach a level where maybe you no longer actually are no longer in employment. Probably you cannot afford to raise a lot of money. So we could say let's cap it at 5 years. We can stretch it to 7 years. We can put it at 3 years. But I'm just looking at the possibility of generating a lot of capital to start helping members within 1 year. We can raise 100,000 per month. Then the subsequent years, 50,000. And then we say we shall save for 5 years and it's done. Then the fund can grow by itself through investments. Like I saw some ideas down there. And yeah, so that's my proposal. I don't know whether to help us close this discussion.
Okay, thanks, Rogers. There was another hand. Tony, which hand was there?
There was Innocent, but I saw he wrote something here. He wrote something in the chat. He was asking, does the proposed 100,000 cater for dependents as well, or just the principal?
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to respond to that. And members, I'm actually proposing, maybe because we may need to catch up with time and all that, but I've also realized that some of the questions are actually answered from the other questions below. I'm thinking of another mode of presentation that I go through the whole document, I read all the questions and you keep taking notes, then we can react after I've presented it again, because I know some people have not read. Once I've presented the whole document, it will actually answer some of the questions that may be coming in at this moment. Is that fine?
Yes.
Okay, proceed, agreed.
Proceed.
Yeah. Okay, so let me read. Please keep noting everything so that we are the same point. So the other important question that was coming was, can someone make a lump sum contribution to cover some months? And we said, yes, this is okay. For example, even if we agree on 50 or 100, so someone can decide to pay for maybe for 2 months or 3 months, or even for 1 year, or even 2 years, so that mean they can rest. There are those days, those times when you can have some a rain day and you have some good money and you just, and this is the best opportunity for you to put it. So that is accepted. Someone to make like pay in advance. Then what will be the maximum number of principal members? The number of questions on how many principal members that we need to limit. So we had settled at 50 because we are looking at, we need numbers but we also don't need to have huge numbers that may end up, the huge numbers can also be hard to manage. So the committee proposed to have 50 members. Then how many dependents can a principal member register as a beneficiary? And I think this one is coming to address Innocent's question. When we say that the principal member can register up to 3 members as beneficiaries. Yes, for example, if I give an example, maybe let me first read even number 7. What if a principal has more than 3 dependents? How that he or she would like to enroll under him or her? Yeah, so I'm going to present these 2. When we say that a principal can register up to 3 members, and these members, we said that they can be, when you look at number 8 and 9, these can be, we are not putting an age limit on the people you are choosing to register to be your dependents or to be beneficiaries under you. We are just only limiting the number to 3. So we are not limiting to whether they are your brother or your husband or what. We just choose 3 members from the start when you become a member. So those are the 3 members that you register. And so there is also no age limit on the dependents. You can just register irrespective of their ages. So the other question which was coming was that, okay, if I have more than 3 dependents, for example, John, if I have maybe 6 people I would want to enroll, that means John can be able to run.
Hello, John.
Yes, Tony.
Kindly request members to mute, or you mute them from that side, because we are hearing a lot of echoes from some members. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So we are saying that someone can operate more than one account. If, for example, I have more dependents to add, that means I can register another account. For example, I can have John account 1 and John account 2, and each account will be having its different beneficiaries. But the member will be servicing all those 2 accounts, and they will be treated as separate accounts. So then the other issue was about which kind of group do we need to register. When we had engagements with the legal person, and the advice we got is that we can register as a company limited by guarantee, and we have medical health fund as our key objective. Then we can also register as an investment club, but where we are focusing on saving and investing for our health. So this is an option that we need to agree upon, and we see which particular one we need to focus on. So that is a question on number 10 that we need to be answering. Then another question was, well, number 11, which kind of medical cover will the fund support? So the committee supported that the support will cover medical cases for the principal and the 3 dependents, and death of any of the 4. Because one of the questions that was coming up was that, yes, as much as this is health, but in case maybe death happens, because death also usually comes in as something of an emergency, and it needs a lot of financial support from the member. So we decided that we propose that it can also be included, but it will cover only the medical insurance we are looking at is that will only cover inpatient costs. That is where a member or a dependent is admitted, and it will not cover cosmetic surgeries, maybe to go and do a plastic surgery on the nose or something. So those costs, they will not be covered. Then how long shall we save before members start getting support from the fund? This is one of the questions which Mark had raised, and we had proposed that we shall save for 12 months to accumulate the funds, so members will start benefiting after 12 months. So this is what we had proposed, but here we can propose if we want to increase on the number or we maintain the 12 months, that is 1 year. Then what happens if a member leaves in the course of the first 12 months of existence? When we said if a member leaves, he or she will be paid up to 30% of what they would have saved up at the time of leaving. Okay, then maybe let me read these 4 questions, then we'll explain to them at a go. Then what happens if a member passes or dies away during the course of the first 12 months? We said that the next of kin will be paid up to 90% of what the member had contributed in savings at the time of death. Then the other question was, how much can a member be supported from the fund to cater for medical support after 12 months of existence? We said a member will be supported up to 1.7 times of his or her savings contribution to the fund at the time of support. Then the other question was, what if a member leaves after the 12 months? And we said if a member will only be paid 10% of what they would have saved, what they would have contributed at the time of departure, that is after 12 months. So I wanted to explain these scenarios. One is that in the first 12 months, because the member contributions would have been low, and maybe someone would still be learning and studying and making probably the final decisions on whether to stay. So at that point, if a member decided to leave, they can be paid up to 30%. But if a member leaves after 12 after 12 months, then they only be entitled to be paid 10%. Why the committee proposed this percentages is that we don't want members to look at this fund as another savings account, because one experience has showed that, especially for investment clubs, why they usually fail is that when members are always contributing in such an arrangement, there's that time when it reaches and maybe someone sees that they have, for example, contributed like maybe 1 million or 2 million or 3 million, and at a certain point they have a financial need, which may not, for example, in this case, medical. Maybe someone wants to buy a land, they have gone everywhere, they cannot afford to buy that land because of not having money. And now they look around and they say, what if I leave this group? Maybe I can be paid some money, then I go and pay off the land. So why we propose this small percentage is that this is to discourage and actually limit people from, looking at this as a savings, as another savings account where they can easily just accumulate funds and they pick at any time they want. So these are the limitations. Then also, yes, for the start, we put that a member can be, that is after 1 year, when the fund can start benefiting the members. We said someone can get up to 1.7 of his or her savings. And we are giving one, we had put it at the lowest amount. And we said, for example, if there are 10 members and each one is contributing 50,000 per month, in a year as an individual, you would have put 600,000 in the fund, but the fund would have grown up to 6 million because you are 10 members. But in case there is a need, then a member 1.7 of 600 is actually 1,020,000. So if there is a need, you can get support from the fund up to 1,020,000. And this one caters for all the beneficiaries. If, for example, it is me, John, and my 3 dependents, then all the 3 members are catered for under that 1,020,000. So if, for example, if that fund, if you have a medical bill that goes beyond the 1,020,000, then that one you cater it for yourself. If the bill is less than that one, well and good. So that is the basis that is what the committee proposed. Then number 17, what happens if the principal dies away in a period after the 12 months of existence? When we say that where the member was supported with the fund, with medical, or where the member got medical support from the fund, then the fund will only support with a token for burial support of up to 500,000 shillings. When the member could have been supported and maybe had exhausted all what they were entitled to, but the member ends up dying. Okay, so in that case, we said yes, the fund at least they can go ahead and give a token, a token support of 500. But where a member had not been supported with any medical support, for example, in case of an accident, or maybe someone got sick, maybe it was malaria, they did not incur any expenses within the medical, they were not supported with any medical expenses, then the fund, then we say that, yes, the next of kin will be allowed to inherit the membership. That is, if the next of kin wants to take up the membership of the deceased, or that next of kin can be paid up to 90% of what the member had contributed as savings at the time of death. So where the next of kin has accepted to inherit the membership of the deceased, then the group will provide a token of up to 1 million shillings for burial support. Yes, I think that should be, that is clear to everyone. Then how will the group grow the funds over time apart from member savings? And we say that the group will invest some portion of the funds into low risk ventures, e.g. treasury bills, treasury bonds, unit trusts, and fixed deposits. Then in the future, members can also agree to diversify investments, e.g. having ambulances to generate income to the group and help the members. I think some members had even some members had even proposed that we can even the fund can even, if we grow big, we can even build like hospitals to provide such services. But we say that all the investment options will have to be approved by a majority vote of the members. Then number 18, where will the money be paid? The money will be paid in group accounts that will be selected by the members. Yes. In the constitution, of course, will be indicating. In the constitution, will be indicating.
John.
Which, yes, please.
John, Tony, kindly mute techno sparks or creating interference. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, so that will be paid. But we said for the first start before we open the account, for example, the membership, because there's that first membership, but we need to pay maybe to meet the legal funds opening the account. So we propose that that money can be paid to the treasurer, that first payments, because that we need that one actually in cash to be able to work through all those processes. So that is what we propose. Then what is the proposed leadership structure? Because this is going to have a structure, we propose that there should be a committee of 9 members, including the chairperson or the president, whatever name we want to choose, then the vice, the treasurer, general secretary, publicity, and then 4 members, making a committee of 9 people. Then how long will the executive committee serve? And we propose that the term of office for executive committee will be 3 years. After 3 years, election will be held to elect new committees. A member will be eligible to be elected in the same position for a second term. He or she will not be eligible to be elected in the same position after serving for 2 terms. If, for example, you have been a chairperson for term 1 and the next term, then in the 3rd term, you can't be elected in the same position. And we say the member who has served in the same position for 2 terms will only be eligible to be elected in the same position after another 2 terms have lapsed. That is 6 consecutive terms. Then what more system shall we put in place to protect the fund? This was much more in terms of the signatories. Yes, one is that the chairperson will be the principal signatory of the group account. The chairperson will be a signatory to the group account. Then the secretary and another member who is not on the executive committee will be appointed to serve as a second signatory to the account. All the 3 signatories will have to sign for any transactions to take place. Then the treasurer will be in charge of preparing all payments requests, but will not be a signatory to the account. He or she will also serve as the group, the bank agent. Then the group will also appoint 3 members who are non-committee members to serve as internal auditors to the group, and where the members, where there is need, they will also vote for involvement of external auditors to audit the group as required. Then how often will members meet? We say that there will be 2 general meetings every year. That is one in January and another one in July. These meetings can be virtual or physical depending on the prevailing circumstances. However, 3/4 of the members can sign a petition and cause for an emergency meeting in case of an emergency need. Yes, so the next steps, what we had proposed is that once final terms and conditions are agreed upon, then the interim committee with guidance of a lawyer will go ahead and make a draft constitution, which shall be circulated to all prospective members to review. and then a final constitution will then be made for members to sign. Then only those who will have paid membership will sign on the constitution, because the first constitution, before it is submitted to the authority, the members must have signed on that document. Yeah, thank you so much. So those were the proposals from the interim committee, and now they are open to discussion.
Yeah, John, I can see Emma Wills, hand is up.
Yes, Emma, please go ahead.
Okay, John, thank you for that brief and quick presentation. I'll ask my questions in line with all the questions that you've answered from the previous member questions. So question one is how will the members start benefiting in a long run? You hinted on it, but it is not yet very clear. I'll ask both questions and make suggestions as well.
Yes.
There is an issue of a member leaving. I would suggest that we reduce this further to 20% to encourage commitment, but also in the instance that this is not, this is inevitable, could we have legal backup to avoid any legal ramifications in a long term when members start to feel that they are coerced to stay in the fund, such that in case any of those rise, we are fully covered and backed up. A member being supported 1.7 of his or her savings, I didn't get that clearly. I don't know if all other members got it clearly, but it didn't seem clear to me. Then on the proposed leadership structure, I propose that we add a position of an investment person. I don't know how we can name it or we can call it, because if we want this to be beyond just saving and medical fund, and we say part of the investment will be placed in what investments, then that means we need someone who can think and support us to be ahead of us in terms of investments. Then in the instance that we are not holding meetings, I'm now on the section of meetings, how shall members keep receiving subsequent reports? Because what I know from the groups that I've been in is that silence on the side of the committee when it comes to how the fund is performing sometimes leads to a lot of questions and discourages members' commitment in the group. Then when it comes to meetings, why would we have 2 meetings close by each other, June and July? I would rather propose that we have maybe 2 meetings in half years biannually, maybe one in January, then maybe another one in July, so that the one in July can buffer the one of January, giving us updates of what has happened between January and July. Then for signing of the constitution, that is the next steps. If we agree, how shall members sign onto the constitution given the prevailing circumstances? How has the committee planned on that? Then final random question. Supposing a member doesn't fall sick for 2 years or more, for instance, admitted or inpatient, and maybe fall sick after 4 to 5 years, can they take, can the fund be able to pay for much more of their bills in line with what they were supposed to have been able to receive if they fell sick in the first year or second year of the fund? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Emma. And I'll even also be asking the committee members, but even the proposals, anyone who has a proposal to some of the questions being raised, you can always put it in the chat. Because like I said, all these, we need to all be putting all these answers together. So let me start with the quick ones. One on the issue of of the meetings. Yes, I think there was a typing error, so we proposed January and July. So you can make an adjustment on that. Then too, on how will we sign this constitution? We know that this whole time, as we are in lockdown, we are going to use it as a time to finalize. So we are sure that after the lockdown, then we will be able to be in position to sign. We can communicate either to have a physical meeting in Kampala, or we can designate one person in Kampala who is accessible to everyone, and they can always link up with that person and they sign that that document. We can just put a deadline on signing that constitution because one, we just need the members. So if we have a good number of people signing, then the constitution now can then be, it can be submitted for approval. On the terms of this, the investment committee, yes, it is something we can agree. I know usually committees like this, they're usually electing themselves like an investment committee. So we can say out of the 9 members, there will be like different committees, and one of that can be investment. So out of the general members of the executive, there can be 3 members who can form part of the executive committee. Then they can also adopt one person who is not a member of the executive to be on the investment committee. Yeah, so that one we that can be included. Then on 1.7, you wanted a clarification on 1.7. One is that how the 1.7, I gave an example. After 1 year, each member would have, if each member paying 50,000, everyone would have paid 600,000. So 1.7 of 600,000 in this case would be 1,020,000. So meaning you at that moment, assume now we are maybe in the 13th month where someone has contributed up to 600 and the fund is supporting you. So 1.7 of what you would have saved at that time is the maximum support that you can be able to get from the fund. I think that is clear, Emma, to you now. Emma, can you confirm that that is clear to you?
Yes, John, it's clear. Let's also pay attention to the chat. There are quite a number of people asking questions there.
Yeah, so let me come to the chat. Then on the issue of in the first 12 months, you are proposing we reduce the 30% to 20%. That is something we can be able to vote on. People can second it, or if not, it can stay. If I look through the chart, let me read through the chart. Yes, at the registration of principal and the dependents, an email should be given for the principal for sharing the documents. Yes, that is a comment from Barbara. Yes, that is taken note of. Generally, the interim committee has done a good job. Well done, men and women. Thanks, Samuel. Then this is Rogers. Will there be a limit to how often or frequent a member dependent can be supported by the fund? I'm looking at a situation where someone is frequently in a hospital. Then Samuel has also asked that for start, 50K will work as we run and also reduce on other businesses that take our monthly contribution. Then in the next year, we can think of increasing to 100. Yes, yes, Rogers, you have asked, will there be limits on how often frequent member can be supported by the fund? Yeah, this is a question that all of us need to, that we can all discuss. One is that the principle is that a member can be supported up to 1.7% of his savings. So meaning, if you have been exhausted your fund, because you can even actually you can have a medical need which even the fund may not be able to address or fully cover. So meaning, if, for example, after 1 year or in the second year, when we have said we are going to be supporting, and in that year you would have exhausted that amount at that moment. So for example, if you had a medical fund maybe in January and you would have exhausted all your support, that means immediately, because your savings, because your contributions will be probably much less, and they may not cover the need. But also we can also suggest that maybe if a member has been supported, for example, in 1 year, then we can put a limit to, we can put a limit to a particular member and say maybe you can only be you can benefit from the fund if you have, for example, not maybe exhausted all your needs, or if you have exhausted your support that particular need, maybe we can say then you wait for another 1 year, or you can wait maybe for 2 years. That is something members can suggest on. So it is out for discussion. So members, any thoughts about how that can be handled? I don't see hands up to respond to that question.
Stella has a hand up.
Oh, yes, Stella, please go ahead.
John, thank you. Actually, mine is just, we need to put some clarification on some of the clauses or points we have mentioned. For example, we are saying that if like a member served for 12 months and the maybe passes on, we have set the 500 and the 1 million. What if someone dies after, say, 3 or 4 years of serving with the scheme? We need also to be clear on that. How much then? Should we say the 1 million is on annual saving, or it cuts flat? We need to be clear on that. And then,
yes, Stella, go ahead.
Saying medical health fund, I also suggest we add medical health fund and provision of medical services. That is looking at our big picture we posted in the group, where we're saying if we grow, we can choose to build clinics or hospitals as part of investments. So we can, I was suggesting, yes, we also add medical fund and provision of medical services, just so that when we register, we have captured something. And then I'm still insisting on my point of contribution, because when you relate it to what we have suggested on number 15, that is the 1.7, and looking at that scenario, which I suggested, like a member falls sick, maybe 2 of his dependents in the same year, they are all hospitalized, meaning out of that member saving of 600, we are paying about 3-point-something million. It means we have hit like savings of like 5 members in the group. So we need to look at that critically when we're making a decision. Then on the member choosing to withdraw, I also have this question. What if somebody is maybe leaving the fund, not for sickness, maybe got an accident, became incapacitated, it can no longer do anything? I don't know, what do we put to cover that? Because there is living where one just like the ideas to get, maybe wants money to invest. But what about somebody becoming incapacitated to do anything, and he can no longer do an activity that gives him finances and he chooses to leave? How do we put a clause to cover such incidents?
Sarah, do you have a proposal? Do you have a proposal on how to handle some of those issues? What would be your proposal? Because I think that
them because
Yeah, because that is a very important point.
You see, John,
Yes.
My proposal on that would be to put a bigger percentage than the 10% per person who becomes incapacitated, that they can no longer perform anything.
Okay.
We raise it from the 10, I think we'll put 10 for some years. That is just my suggestion, because he has not chosen. And then we need to put clearly the deadline date for paying the monthly subscription so that we are all at par. Because somebody can may default, I don't have money, then pays by 15th of the following month. We need to set it clearly that members must make sure they pay their monthly subscription deadline, this date in each month.
All right.
And then somebody posted in the chat, you have not discussed, how are we planning to pay, like if we are paying the 1.7 to a member who is sick, are we going to give them cash, or should we put their all payments should be there through their account, or how do we guard that financial transmission to the member? Those are my few observations.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. So I'm going to pick up key points which you have raised. Okay.
John, Tony here.
Yes.
Could Stella kindly just suggest what percentage would she want that to be, because the interim committee suggested 10%, and she's saying we maybe need to raise it. Kindly just give a suggestion, and members can start thinking about what level of increase you're thinking about. Thank you.
Tony, for me, my suggested increase is only per member who becomes incapacitated. The 10% for members who just decided to walk away because they are either disgruntled for their own reason, we maintain the 10%. I'm only suggesting to put a clause of, say, 50% for a person who becomes totally incapacitated to do anything. That is my suggestion. But for those who just walk away, 10% we maintain.
Yeah, I think that's a good start. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone who, because I wanted us to conclude on that, anyone who is Stella is proposing 50%, is there anyone who has a different proposal of more than 50 or less than Samuel is proposing 40%. So we have 40% and 50%. Yes, for those who are online, for
John.
Yes, please.
You know, I appreciate this thinking of my sister there. We might need to specify, is it 50% maybe? Are we saying you are walking away within the first 12 months, or you are getting incapacitated within the first 12 months, or throughout the saving period? Because if I'm going to save for 5 years and I've become incapacitated after 4 years, maybe I will have saved over 4 million or 5 million. Now, if you are giving me only 50%, really that is not fair. That would mean if I've saved 5 million, you will give me 2.5. And it's not like this is something I invited, maybe I got an accident, God forbid, or for one reason or another, I cannot raise the money. So are we looking at the period within which a member will have saved? So that we bring in some fairness here. Otherwise, me, I would, 50% is really low for an incapacitated person. If he has saved for a long time. If he has saved for more than 3 years, really, it should be like 70%. So that the fund maybe remains with, some little money. Okay, not some little money, some good chunk of money of his savings. So I'm proposing within 1 year, maybe 50%. After 2 years, we can say 70% or 80%.
Okay.
And can I ask a question there?
Yes, Mark.
maybe after 1 year, within 1 year, 50%, I also agree. But then after the beyond 1 year, assuming this person has been sick and benefited from the fund, will he still be getting the other 50% as they are saying? By the time a person becomes incapacitated to withdraw on medical ground, I think he will have been admitted and we have actually supported him. So it's a very area that needs to be really considered greatly.
Okay. Yeah,
yes,
so,
John, can I say something? Yes, I think Mark has spoken something I was thinking about. I was thinking if someone has already been supported within the 4 years, probably we could be thinking about if we are to consider Rogers' suggestion, we could think about 70% of the contribution of the person up to that time minus the amount of money that person has already been supported through medical support. That would be fair.
okay, yeah, I think that is clear, Tony. So let me take note of that. I'm also capturing it here.
John, my last point that I forgot to mention from experience is on the principal signatory. We've suggested that we shall have one principal signatory.
Yes.
My suggestion from experience, I'll tell you, we have one of our accounts for the church where the principal signatory died. It is coming to a year and we can't access money. And in the office, we had a similar incident where the principal signatory died and the process of, so my suggestion, can we have 2 principal signatories and we have a clause to the bank saying only one principal signatory must sign plus the other 2, 1 member and what? So that in case, we are not saying this will happen, but you have to look at, because me, I'm talking from experience.
Yeah.
In case something happens to the principal signatory, the organization should not cease operation because we have to go through a process of changing a signatory.
Okay, so maybe a quick question. I don't know if it is depends on the different banks. I know some bank where we wanted to have 2 principal signatories and the bank refused us. They refused us. I think it was Standard Chartered. They refused us to have 2 principal signatories. They said you cannot have more than 2 principal signatories. You can only have 1 and different signatories. So is it a law for all banks, or what is it? What is the experience? Are there instances where they accept 2 principal signatories for group and association accounts? Anyone who has an experience?
I'm talking, me from experience, now I'm talking in terms of the company, because our company is limited by guarantee. As we talk now, we have 2 principal signatories. Before we had 1, but after the experience, we had to have 2. One based in the UK, one based in Uganda. So in case something happens to the one of Uganda, there is a person in the UK to sign.
Oh, that is okay now. So whom would we propose to be if we have the chairperson as the principal signatory, who is the other member that we can have as a principal signatory? Do we have proposals, members?
But John.
Yes, Tony.
I'm still thinking, I'm not so much into the accounting and legal perspective of this, but I'm thinking if we still left it as having 1 principal signatory, and then we put a clause saying that in an event where a principal signatory maybe dies or is proven not to be in position to execute the duties, maybe the fund will effect change within maybe 30 days, something like that. If we did that, don't you think it can help?
Well, of course, that is the normal procedure. That's the normal
Because
procedure.
I'm wondering how, maybe I don't know from Stella's perspective, I don't know why if a principal signatory dies and there are no issues, I don't know why an organization would take 1 full year without having a substantial person replacing. It's a little bit weird.
No, actually for us now, for example, I'm talking like for our church, which I'm a signatory to.
Yeah.
The principal signatory passed on. That was November last year. Now, the process of going to change the principal signatory with the Barclays Bank has been a real hell. A real hell. You submit this, they tell you go to the register of Uganda Registration Services Bureau to certify the death certificate. We do all that. You take, then they bring another story. So they have toasters and toasters. But for office, we handle it very fast. So I think it depends on the bank, because our office, we deal with Bank of Africa. Bank of Africa helped us to solve the issue faster.
About
So I think it depends on the bank.
Yeah.
Yes, Mark.
John.
Yes,
how
Mark?
about if we just say we get 3 principal signatories, and in the instruction we say any of the 2.
Any of the 2.
Actually, I had another, on signatories, I would think we can say 3, but any of the 2 should sign, because all of them, whether chairman, whether secretary, whether treasurer, they are capable of being principal, and we trust them. So that gives us it's open, any of the 2 can, because even when I say principal signatory, assuming this person gets an assignment in Rwanda and is not able to access our account, then we are stuck, or he's not available. He can even be sick. He's within your country, but he's sick or loses interest. Yeah, so any 2 of the 3 can sign. I think that instruction would work.
Okay.
Then the other question I had was on the committees. I hear people talking over adding another committee, but I have a phobia for committees, because the moment they start and the fund grows, they start giving their allowances every day. They are increasing.
Yeah.
So that's why I would prefer to have a very, very linear, very small, because people want allowances here and there, and then they are eating up the profits that we are generating through the fund. Maybe if we are investing, somehow one would even think of having a fund manager where we shall not be the ones to manage it. I doubt whether we shall have the capacity to manage such a big fund and operate. Whether we shall have a small team of like 1 person or 2, but not committees being so many. Investment, audit, what, that is the Kasaki style of management, but let's just leave it out. Think ours, not one which is cost effective.
Yeah, so the executive committee can be enough to manage everything, I think. It remains
I
one
think
committee
so.
charged with everything, okay? Yeah, thank you. So I've captured the issue of the 3 principal signatories where any 2 can
John.
sign. Yes,
John.
Tara? Yes, Tara.
The one which will make your life easy with the bank, let's agree like 4 signatories. We put them in 2 categories. Category 1, category 2. Then we put a clause there saying for payments, or maybe for any check, at least 1 member from category 1 and any other 2 from category 2 must sign. So we put 2 people in category 1 and 3 people say in category 2. Then we say at least 1 person from category 1 and any other 2 from category 2 must sign. There it makes your life easy. That one they will take it very fast.
Yeah, and I think when they formulated that clause, they can give you they can also saturate for such people who are very technical to to look at it. I think that would be good. After the drafting, you give it to a lawyer and also to like Stella, since she has that technical and experience to look at it and see how we have phrased it.
I agree with Mark.
I agree with Mark.
There is a hand of
There is
Grace.
a hand of Grace.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Grace.
Good evening, Grace.
I'm sorry I joined late.
Sorry, I joined late.
I've been listening some
Listening
ideas.
some ideas.
Pushing this. I
John,
just have a question. I don't know.
Grace, sorry. John, kindly mute the members. There's a lot of echo coming when someone is talking. Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead, Grace.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I'm sorry if I'm taking you back or I missed this. I wanted to ask. I have heard talking about investments in future and the savings. So when we are going to register, are we going to register by shares or when we reach investing is when we register, we will, I don't know, how are you planning to do that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Grace. We are not going to operate as a company limited by shares. If you are limited by shares, then you are going to be contributing shares, but you know, shares, that one will be a different thing. It will be more of business. So we are not going to be, buying shares into the company. We are going to be, yes.
Okay, then when we start investing, like making some profits on where we have invested on whatever investment we've done, how is that money going to work? Like we add it on our savings?
Yes,
how?
Yes, because the ultimate goal is that we are going to reach that point, maybe 5 years or 10 years or 15 years going forward, where the fund is going to reach a point and we don't need to be making this monthly contribution. The fund will sustain itself. So that is how the investment will be helping the fund.
Okay.
Yes.
So if let's say I've missed like 3 or like 6 months not saving, or a year, then the next day I save, how do I still have to catch up? Or do I pay some fine?
Yes, that is a very important question which members can discuss. One is that we can put a time limit and we say maybe if a member has not saved, say maybe 6 months, then we can put a penalty and we say maybe the member, if someone has not saved maybe continuously for 6 months, maybe probably in the first 1 year, then they can leave. But also where that may not be a very, okay, it has effects because if you are not saving, you are not helping the group, the fund to grow. But also remember that your support or the support you get from the fund is also determined by how much you have saved in the fund. So if, for example, you have only saved, if you have only saved, say, 500,000, and the group the group can only support you with 1.7 times of what you have saved, that means it will be 1.7 of what you would have saved. Meaning if you have not been accumulating your savings, that means if you have a need, you will not be supported. You will get less support from the fund.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last question, please.
Yes.
After making investments and we are getting profits, yeah? Let's say we've been saving for about 10 years. Yeah. About Grace saved for 10, but Grace used like 5 years of her savings. But John hasn't spent any coin of his savings, right?
Yeah.
So when we are going to use the profits we've made, how do you divide that? Do you give according someone's savings, like, or every member gets equal?
one, we are not going to be sharing out. The only money that is going to be paid out of the fund is a medical expense. Okay.
Yeah.
It is a medical expense. So there will no be time when it's say maybe once in a while the fund pay out some money. Unless if members agree and say maybe if a member has maybe not had any medical problem, maybe in 5 years or 10 years, then there can be a percentage of what the fund can be able to give to that person. That is discussed, that can be discussed. But even when we make profits, the profits are not going to be paid out. They are going to be building and growing the fund.
Yes, even if we're not to get that money in cash, let's say we're depositing on each one's account, right? So how do you divide it? You know, I'm asking this so that we don't have some confusion in future.
Okay, so Grace.
John.
Yes?
John.
Yes, Evelyn, you want to respond? Yes, go ahead.
Yes, and I really want to thank her, you know, for bringing this up.
Yes, yes.
John, we are thinking long term.
Exactly.
We are thinking about a time when we shall have grown these savings. This capital is big.
Yeah.
We have actually gone into very many ventures and we are yielding lots of income.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't you think that at such a time we need to have provisions that yes, based on this percentage that we will have accrued from our investment ventures, then members, principal members can earn something from it. Because if we shall keep on growing the fund, accumulating it, going into business ventures, and the money is seated and maybe, okay, people shall fall sick and they are still going to benefit within the confines of their savings, the way I've been hearing.
Yes.
So don't you think that's another point that we need to look into and discuss?
Yeah, so are there any...
John, can I also comment?
Yes, Mark.
Yeah, I agree with the members' concern, but for me, the way they bring it is like, if we have agreed that each member will pay 50,000 per month for 12 months.
Yes.
Then the other subsequent months and years, we shall agree on a figure, whether 100,000 and above.
Yes.
It means for we are all at the same page. So whatever interest we shall accumulate will still be within the same money. Now, if I fall sick and you don't fall sick, and the fund pays for me, I think that is the instance why we are coming together. That is the real world insurance. We are insuring one another against that eventuality. We don't target only your money, but other members who can, the money accumulated can support. So for me, the point they are bringing is okay. Even if we reach somewhere and say, let's share some portion of the money, it will be guided by the equal shares that we have all subscribed theirs. And if somebody not paying for 6 months, for my clause should be clear that one will be disqualified. Because if somebody doesn't pay 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, then that one is not really contributing to the fund. Falls in the other category of people who have failed. It could be because of finances, for various reasons. Because we need also those things to be written down so that tomorrow somebody doesn't say, you are very unfair to me. Ideally, people should pay monthly. If we pay, maybe we give them a grace period of three months. That's all.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I totally agree. And that's why I was saying that from her submission, I think she was thinking long that at that time there, at that time, maybe after 10 years, the thing is big, the thing is reaping profits. You know, can members come on a round table and say, okay, we have accumulated this, we have made this for these years. So members, we feel like even if we pull out this 5%, the fund will still continue running. But of course, it's not for the short run. that's a long-term thinking.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Let me first capture this one. Then I will make a comment also. So here we have, can we say that if a member does not default for 6 months, the member leaves? What time?
It was a suggestion that if a member defaults for 6 months consecutively, without giving convincing reasons, that member will be asked to leave the fund.
Yeah, but I think the reasons must be clear, very specific, because any reason can be convincing or unconvincing.
No, that the convincing was my own statement.
I think we'd say, because we already have the issue of the permanent disability or incapacitation, but if a member doesn't fall in that category and they have not contributed for 6 months, then they cease to be members. Okay. Yes, Rogers?
I agree.
Okay.
It would be an expression of no interest. Yeah.
I can see the hand for Stella and Evelyn. I don't know if their hands just remained up or they have issues.
No, I want to come back up what Grace was saying. John.
Yeah, you know,
when we're doing this kind of thing,
yes,
you have to look very far ahead. You know me, I'm talking from so many experiences.
Exactly.
Just
yes.
Rogers, can we first hear from Stella?
I was saying, you know, the constitution, the way it can.
Okay, let's first hear from Stella, then we shall get back to Rogers. Yes, Stella?
Yes, I was saying when we're doing something like this, we need to look at the bigger picture. Put yourself 10 years from now.
Yeah, I put my hand down.
Yes.
Yes. Look at 10 years from now. You just do the calculation and saying, okay, if we saved this in 10 years, we have, say, 50 million or 200 million. And we have invested, the investments are going to generate us this. And then we keep investing. And then you have to look at, okay, how do the members benefit more, assuming we make money and many of us don't fall sick, and that means our fund grows faster. You'll come to that point 10, 15 years where you say, members, we have a lot of savings, we have made a lot of profits. I think because God has been gracious to us, we are not over falling sick, we can get 10% of our profit and give to members to do their personal investments. We shouldn't block that. We just put that as a clause that after every 5 years, the performance of the fund will be reviewed and members can revise the constitution accordingly on what further. So that is, Grace is coming up with a very genuine point that we need to look at. Then I'm very serious on the point of defaulting. I agree, if somebody defaults for one reason, say for example, they are sick, incapacitated, they're not able, that one we can agree up to 6 months. But if just everybody of us says, okay, right now I don't have, and then we have a half of us all not paying for 3-4 months, then we will not see ourselves achieving our dream even after 12 months. We will not have that 1.7 to lend or to attend to the medical needs of our members. That is my submission.
Okay. So Stella, you propose a lower period of 6 months?
Yes, other than a person who has got an accident, incapacitated, let's just give a period of say 3 months. If for consecutively 3 months a member has not paid their monthly subscription without that clear justification, then such a member should be discontinued so that we can see really by the end of the 12th month, we have reached somewhere and then we start looking at the next years ahead.
Okay, thank you, members. Since this is by consensus, can we bring it down to 3 months? instead of 6 months, because 6 months is like a whole half year and we can be putting ourselves into trouble.
John.
Yes, Rogers, please.
I have some thoughts on that. I also belong to some other groups, and issues of subscription are very contentious issues. Defaults will always be there. And I wanted to stretch it a bit. We can say 3 months. Okay, for 3 months you've not paid. So then you come and say, okay, now I want to pay the arrears. So we can give you 3 months within which to pay your arrears. So that now that makes it 6 months. It should be cessation of membership, because there's that aspect we have not yet addressed. If 3 months have been away, then I all of a sudden come and I say, hey guys, okay, now I am willing to continue, but I have arrears of 300,000 and I don't have all that money to pay. For example, in the 4th month, I'm thinking that our constitution could give a person like that 3 months within which to pay arrears, and then be at par with others, of course, in the 7th month. So within 6 months, if someone, okay, 3 months is the period when someone can seize membership. But if someone shows up, maybe two days to the end of the month, he can say, yeah, you pay arrears with the rest in the 7th month. Otherwise, this is a very contentious issue. So, but I also had a question, John. It is critical because this involves money. We are of this fund, and now what system are we going to put in place to know who has defaulted, who has not defaulted, who has paid half, who has not paid half? Are we putting up an administrator that is going to be following up these funds, getting statements, and maybe setting up systems to track the contributions of members? That is something I've not seen in the proposals that you have just shared with us. I think we need to think of someone that will really do that work, because I know the committee usually, even if we have to be honest here, we are busy people, probably all of us, and I don't see anyone on the committee here who will do that work. 50 people are paying every month in a certain bank, and then you follow up, get statements, analyze, see who has paid, who has not paid, who has paid half, who has not paid half. So we need to think about someone who's going to manage this as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe before Karabo comes in, Karabo Grace. Yes, Rogers, yes, we're thinking that since members are going to be paying through the bank, and yes, we can track their payments through the bank statements, but also the treasurer, they will be sharing their payment receipts or evidences of payment with the treasurer, so that the treasurer can always get the bank statement and you know, maybe like a quarterly bank statement, and they are able to analyze. So I think it may not be too much work to do for that, for the treasurer. That's my thinking. Until that time, maybe when we have grown and we think we need to get a hired person to be paid to do that work, maybe like on a retainer basis, and we say we are maybe paying someone to do that consultancy, or I mean like part-time work. Yeah, maybe when we have grown, I think at some point we can think about that. But for now, I think the treasurer will be good enough to do that kind of support. Yeah.
John, it is John, we need to think twice, because his point is actually, I had brought it somewhere.
Yes.
It is not about only banking their money. It is, yeah, we need somebody who will reconcile that account monthly. So I think your idea in the proposal in the constitution, provide for a retainer, even if we just get one accountant, like and assign here and pay her, like say 50,000 per month to reconcile for us.
Okay. Mark, have we lost you?
I think Mark had finished making his comment.
Okay, so can we have Karabo, then Barbara, and I would request if we can first comment on that issue of the person supporting running in reconciling the accounts. We first address that point before we bring another issue. So Grace.
And Mr. Chairman, as they come on, what time are we going to have? Because we are almost clocking the top of the hour. Need to agree.
Yeah. Okay, let's first hear from Grace and Barbara, then we look at how much time we can push. Yes, Grace.
On the payments proof, like what you mentioned, I think the banks these days give monthly statements on emails. We may not just need to assign someone to start spending. The responsible person can be getting those monthly emails. We set like a deadline, like on this date, everyone must have paid their savings. Then we get monthly updates, please.
Okay,
you
so
get that email, you print out and share.
So are
monthly
you
statement.
Yeah, so the question is, are we proposing that we get someone to be paid that small amount to be supporting on that one?
No, those on the those who are going to be on the signatories can ask for those statements monthly. Email statements, you don't even need to go to the bank. They send to you, you share with us on the group.
Yes, so Grace, what the others, we are not saying we can't get those statements, we can get them, but what the issue is that the people are looking at this, the treasurer who is going to be supporting may be too much on the treasurer. So I was thinking of getting like another person to support in reconciling, and the fund can be paying something small. That is what the proposal that is in press.
I suggest for at least the first three years.
The treasurer handles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because 50K is someone's savings for the whole month.
Okay, thanks, Grace. Let's hear from Barbara now. Yes, Barbara.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, colleagues, for the contributions. Me, I'm suggesting we get someone voluntarily to support the treasurer, because there's creation of accounts whereby each individual, each member should know their account number. So even if they go to deposit this money to the bank, in the names of the group shall have identified, they should be able to indicate the account number. So there's a bit of some admin work that needs to be done to support with this start. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, so I think you're agreeing with the proposal. Let's hear from Duncan. Duncan, your hand is up, then we go to Stella. Yes, Duncan. Then we go to Stella. Yes, Duncan.
Chairman John, thank you. It seems the fund is going to run a whole year without any major expenses or before we begin utilizing it to support members. And I thought that instead of putting ourselves at a task of finding someone this early, the committee and the treasurer would follow up like Grace suggested earlier on, that they would do this, they would collect the signatories would collect the statements, and maybe we develop a system through which members can be able to know their contributions. But even before that, just a question, how will members be paying? Are they going to be paying directly to the bank? Are they going to be paying the money directly to someone? I think for the 1 year, we can avoid bringing on board someone that is going to again get into the money of the fund, and we first establish what we are trying to set up.
Okay, thanks, Duncan. Yes, so you are all agreeing that the treasurer is enough, and the money will be paid in the account. Maybe to answer the question, members will be paid direct to the account and send their receipts or payment notifications to the treasurer. Yes, so let's hear from Stella, then we conclude on this issue and we move forward.
Thank you, member. Thank you, Duncan. truly speaking, in the first year, we cannot have to pay somebody. Let's voluntarily do, and I will offer myself to help you in the reconciliation in the whole of year one. What we shall do, this is my suggestion. After members, when you have deposited the money to the bank account that we shall open, please just take on WhatsApp and send the receipts to the treasurer so that at the end of the month, we will reconcile the receipts against the bank statement. And then we post a summary and say the following members did not pay their subscription. These are out of 50, maybe 30 members fully paid their subscription. We need to support our fund to grow without first starting to milk it by us giving ourselves as a service to it. So I will help the treasurer in doing the reconciliation.
All right, thank you so much, Stella, and thanks for volunteering to.
John.
Yes.
I don't know. Okay, those who can calculate for us, it is good when we use the pen and the calculator. If we are saying we are 50 members and each member is going to pay 50,000 monthly for 12 months, how much money is that? And are we going to keep this money just there until after 12 years and we start investing it? Because it is a lot of money to just sit down for 12 months. And then plus membership fee, which we have not even talked about. So I think, for me, I think other than, I would agree, okay, the committee can work, but we have to have really a system that this money will be invested in. It should be invested maybe within the first 3 months, 6 months, we should invest this money, remove it from the account and put it on a fixed account so that it doesn't just sit idle, not earning anything.
Absolutely agreed, because the safest thing that we can do in the first year is maybe go on board treasury bills with the government. Those are the safest investments that we can do in year one. And if we look at first year, if we are really 50 and we all pay, that means by the end of the year, we should be having 30 million in the account, just as membership and monthly subscription without the membership fee yet. Because membership fee, of course, like John talked at the beginning, we shall have to pay the lawyer. We will have that initial deposit to open the account first, to make account active so that it is shared with the members. So literally, we can't keep the 30 million. If we pay at the end of 6 months and we have the 15 million, we can consider and saying, okay, let's get 10 million and put into treasury bills of 6 months so that by the end of the year, when we're ending the 12th, our treasury bill is expiring, and then we know how much we have in the account in total.
Yes, thanks so much. I think that is those are very brilliant ideas. I've actually also seen, I don't know how many other members here who have experience with unity trusts. I personally invest in unity trusts with UAP Insurance, and it is where I save my money. Actually, it's where I put my savings every month. And for them, you actually gain profits every day. You monitor your account, how it is growing every day. And their average interest is 9%. Their average interest is 9%. And the beauty with it is that you can actually withdraw money at the time you want. So it is not like the fixed deposit or the treasury bills where you wait for the maturity period for it. It's every day you are getting interest, and you see how much you are earning each and every other day. So meaning that every month, every amount that is paid every month can always be, for example, put on that treasury, on the unit trust. So that is one of the options I think members can research about, so that, at least for me, I have experience in that, but we also have those other options. So we can agree and we say, we start, maybe the first investment can be after 3 months or after 2 months. We can even start in the first 3 months, maybe. I don't know what members can suggest. Grace, you want to speak to that? Your hand is up.
Yes. I think we need to know, like, where you save that money, what they use it for. because they're using your money to grow their businesses. We need to get ideas of how best we can invest our money and it makes profits. That's what I'm thinking. Then another thing, if I don't know where everyone is. I think we need more time to brainstorm this thing, if we can even meet physically before we put it in writing. It seems to be much bigger with brilliant ideas. I don't know if we should rush to register now. Because like what that gentleman mentioned, I think John, when I called, I also mentioned that. Keep it, saving that money in the bank. You're just developing banks. It's not making any money for us, just waiting for the worst to happen so we can pull it and use it. Yet we can invest it and it makes something bigger. I was also just suggesting if we are to keep in the line of healthy, we can at least invest in things that can can still in the line of the health, or an ambulance, a hospital, what of the like. Like we say, we need a plot of land where we'll build a hospital. It costs 30 million plus in certain place. Now our goal, we want to save 30 million. How much is everyone supposed to bring? Because we have to save equally. Like if you have a problem in, like if Grace gets a problem when we're saving for a plot of land, we can pull in our pockets and help a member as we focus on our goal, not just saving our money there.
Okay,
because we may not.
Yes, thanks, Grace. I think your points are valid and noted. But like we said, I think one on the issue of investment, yes, like the members have said, the money is not going to be on the account seated. And that's why we are saying that even in the first 2 months of the savings, we can even be fixing that money, because you can always fix any money in treasury bills, in fixed deposits. Any money that you have can always be fixed. So the money is not going to be seated on the account. It is going to be fixed on those in those options. But the suggestion was that we first of all fix it in the low risk ventures, and that's why I had suggested like treasury bills, fixed deposits, unit trusts. Then in future, when the fund has grown, then we can think of bigger investment options like buying those ambulances or putting up hospitals. That is when we have grown the fund and we know we are liquid enough so that you don't get all the money and invest and you don't have money to meet the needs of the members. Because at the end of the day, the major focus is basically to have liquidity to always take care of the member medical needs. So all those are good options, which as we grow, we will definitely be taking them up. Yes, and the issue of registration, yes, that's why we have this meeting. We have all these ideas. We are not rushing to register. We're going to put them, and we are going to have even the lawyer first make a draft of all these ideas we have put, and we go through them and they share the constitution. Then once we have the final constitution and we agree, then the members will sign after agreeing. Of course, there are those members who may look at the constitution, because all our ideas, I know we will not have a common stand on all issues. So, but at least I pray that I know members there will be a common ground where someone can be comfortable at that point to join. Then at least then members will make a decision on joining at that point. So we are going to continue having these engagements and discussions. Then if it necessitates a physical meeting, but I hope even in there's online meetings, we are progressing on the key number of issues. By the time we have even that physical meeting, probably after lockdown, we should have progressed to a good point where we have addressed a number of issues coming up on these suggestions. Yes. Okay. Any other hand? So we're supposed to end at 8. It is 13 minutes past 8. Do we want to push for some minutes, and how much minutes can we push? Members, can we close it at 8:30? Are you still having energy as we close at 8:30?
John, yeah, I think I can reach there, but what is pending, I think, according to me,
Yes.
for you to draft is to agree when should we pay this subscription fee and where, if we are to pay it. Do we need when the constitution is finished and everything is documented and signed, or we can begin and say the beginning point is this date and the closing date is this one, so that we begin and know we have members, so that we are not, most of these others are like proposals,
Yes.
which you write and again share again, and we can go through this document even 10 times. But there are key decisions that we have. One, we have agreed on each person paying 50,000
Yes.
monthly for the first 12 months.
Yeah.
Then 2, now we need when should we start paying that money and how do we pay it? Are we paying it on a banker, on a WhatsApp, on a mobile money for somebody? By the way, who is our treasurer? That is another question in the interim.
Okay, so the pending on one of the pending actions was actually to put
Yes.
members to set up this committee that is going to be running. I don't know if we can be able to set up in this meeting. I see the number is small. That's important task. So we need to have a treasurer who can be getting this, especially the membership support in running those activities. But let us first hear from Duncan, then Barbara, then we proceed. Maybe a minute, Duncan. Balunji, is your hand up?
And yes, really, I think it would be important to first have a constitution. Whereas I appreciate that we need to make some contribution towards the running, to help with the running and the registration. I don't know whether our lawyer requires to be paid to put together for us this document. But if not, then we would rather have the constitution first before we make a payment. Because at the end of the day, it would be important to appreciate the whole constitution before one engages in or rather participates in it. Because asking someone to make a contribution now and then afterwards doesn't feel like the constitution supports the really fits into his or her interest, I think it may not augur well. So I would propose that we first have the constitution, unless the lawyer requires money, then we can think of mobilizing that fund. For me, that's my take.
Yeah, I think that's very good to listen to that version, but I would, with all respect, I would think then that's not how these things work, because you have to begin, you have to have some people to start. And like now we are in it, we are agreeing, the constitution is ours. So every article that will be there will be ours. There is no article that will be there that is not for the members. So for me, a constitution is just a bylaw, but the idea is okay. We move forward. Those other bylaws, we keep changing them until, because then we are even free. People can get out data. It's not going to be a document that, a constitution can take a lot of time, by the way. It's not something very easy. Even the registration itself will take you not less than 2 years if you want to take it that way. Because there is where I am, we are trying to formulate, but since last year, we are still struggling with the registrar. They ask this, they ask you that, they do what. So it will take a lot of time, but we have to start something.
Okay. Yes, I think, Mark, that is important. Yes, the lawyer will definitely need to be supported, but also the whole process of all this, we need the money. So maybe what we need is to get a treasurer that we can all agree with, and we take charge of to be receiving this money. I also want to believe that really 50,000 for all members who are on this 50,000 shouldn't be a big burden. And if it will be at least for the start, because this is the first money we are going to pay to help us do all these processes. So I think members can be able to manage it. Yes, Duncan, then Barbara.
And I think the idea I wanted to raise has been raised. I wanted to look at it from the legalistic point of view, but like you are saying that the money that is needed now would be to support the processes, but in actual sense, realistically speaking and legally speaking, people would be able to make regular contributions after the constitution is out, so that we have something that binds us towards what we are going to do. But for now, like you are suggesting, we need to maybe we identify a treasurer and make that contribution of 50,000 for a start to ease the process for the interim committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Then Barbara, then Tony.
Thank you, John. I'm in agreement with what Mark raised in regards to the constitution, but I was also thinking that as we think of the bank and the account and all that nitty-gritty, maybe we could identify either 2 mobile numbers where members can send this money, because it can easily reflect that the money has come through from either Barbara or from John. Then we're able to document that as the contributions come through, and as we don't think about the bank accounts. Thank you.
Thank you. Then
and you see what wait.
Yes, Mark, then Tony.
Administrative purposes for supporting us to, but the members who have paid the membership fee are the ones who are supposed even to debate the constitution and append their signature on it, because you cannot sign on a constitution you are not a member to. So that money, how much did it, what was proposed? Was it 50?
Yeah, 50,000.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
That one should be really.
Okay. Yes, can we hear from Tony?
I agree with the position that members are suggesting. I just wanted to suggest the name of Stella. Stella Agilong. I don't know if she's still here. Yes, Stella. From her discussions, I think she's passionate. She has done this for long. Stella, if you can, and by the virtue of your background accounts, if you can help us to be an interim treasurer for now, I think it would be good.
Yes, Stella. Anyone else anyone else seconding Stella?
John.
Yes,
I would actually second. I would actually second Stella because of that financial background, and I think she has also contributed a lot of ideas. She has offered to volunteer, but I would humbly request that Stella maybe puts on her video. We be able to see her. Some of us have never seen her,
and she will tell us much about herself
that we can appreciate.
Okay. Is that?
Yes. So that's I am just seconding at.
Yes, so we need a third second, and then we are able to listen to Stella.
I also agree with the members.
I'm seconding her.
All right, thank you. Stella. Hello, Stella. I know her network. She had posted in the WhatsApp group.
Yes, John. Yeah, my network. My network disturbs me. You know, I'm down this side on the forest side.
Hey, okay. So Stella, now.
Yes, this is myself.
We are not seeing you, Stella.
Or maybe
my network. Are you seeing me?
Oh, I need first stop the screen sharing, maybe. I can,
yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I think that's the reason. Sarah, you need to put your video.
video is on. You can't see me.
No, we are only seeing a black thing.
My good Lord. Because I removed my video and I put it on. Let me see. Cheers. Select camera. Video settings. Jehovah.
Maybe the video is trying to protect you. Hide.
Why would it hide me? Actually, myself, I'm also seeing it dark. I don't know why.
Sometimes
maybe Stella can.
Let me first call my son. Let me call my son who is.
Okay, so but maybe Stella.
My camera is off and my video put it on.
It's okay. You can even share a photo later.
Oh, I think John. I called John who blocked my video. It's John.
Yeah, I think John is blocking you.
My son
great.
John blocked.
Yes.
God. John blocked me. I remember that they said, Mom, you can switch off your video. Then he put it. So
now, Stella,
no wonder when we're in the church meeting today, everybody was like, Stella, we're not seeing you. And I'm like, my video is
now, Stella, you need
so
to first tell people that the John you are talking about is your son, not John me.
I have a firstborn called John doing medicine at Makerere.
Okay.
So when I saw John Tracy, I'm like, oh, I have another son there. So I'm still at Geelong. I stay in Nakanako on Hilltop Estate. My house is right down the second last on the forest bordering the LOC chairman. That's where my home is.
Hi, Stella. You're my neighbor. I'm just opposite you.
What? So Grace, which side are you?
We will talk when the meeting.
Okay.
Very nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
I think, Stella, we had nominated you to be our interim treasurer to collect for us the membership fee by member. And that's why we are bothering you to allow us see your face and see how you smile. And then you tell us more about yourself. That's what I think the member had requested.
Yes.
Okay. More about me. Number one, I'm a single mother of two, but I take care of many. Others, some present here, others, I support them from wherever they are. In terms of work, I'm working with an organization called Fauna and Flora International. We are based in Nakuru, just next to Kembabasi restaurant on Bwindi Trust House, where I work as the finance and the operations manager. It's a conservation organization. Our headquarters is in Cambridge. By birth, I come from Katakwi in Toroma County. That is my background.
All right. Thank you so much, Stella, for those introductions, and we are glad to have you and for volunteering. Mark, you must be in Katakwi at this moment, or you are in Moroto, so you may greet the relatives of Stella.
I will.
Yes. All right. So thanks so much, Stella. You will share your mobile numbers on the chat.
Okay.
Yes, so that
on the WhatsApp group.
Yes, on the WhatsApp.
Yes,
group.
on our medical WhatsApp group.
Yes, so that members will start sharing those numbers. So members, I think we are going to put this together in the document. Actually, the next document, the interim committee. So Stella, we are going to add you on the interim committee group also. Yes, so that the first document now we are going to be doing will come out as a draft constitution. which we are going to share with members. All these are going to be put in a draft constitution, and that one is going to be shared with the members, because I see we have 3 minutes to leave. Is that agreeable to everyone? And maybe you can give.
Yes, to me, yes.
Thank you. You can give us 2 weeks from now. Today is 18th, so we can do that by 1st of August. We commit to have put that document together and we'll share. Okay, so thank you so much, members. We are basically we want to be proceeding on this document. Then we move forward. So we are very few members now. Can I request now that for purposes of trying to know each other and try to know, can we use 3 minutes now before we close, because we are only 17 members, for members to give a very quick introduction, not more than 10 seconds. You can feel free to put a video so that people see your face. We start looking at each other, and in 20 seconds, you introduce yourself like that, then we close. We are very few people, we are 17, we can do that today. For those who can put their video.
John, I can see an upcoming member behind you, 2 members.
Hey, yeah, I think they have come to inform me that it is time for the meeting to end and take their space. Okay. All right, thank you so much. I see a number of you. I know we will be able to keep sharing this. I want to thank you so much for the time and commitment that has been put into this. I now want to call the meeting to end so that we are able to proceed. So I want to request Evelyn Kusima, can I request you that you give us a closing prayer?
John, please tell her who has been meetings today. Okay, let's pray.
Yes.
Father, in the name of Jesus, we want to thank you for the good deliberations that you've enabled us to have. We want to thank you for our interim committee members, Lord. We want to thank you for all the members on this group. We want to pray that, Lord, you will keep moving us forward, Lord. And as we wish, we shall continue being the head and not the tail, Lord, of my King of glory. We want to pray for total commitment from each and every member, that, Father, we shall remain with our vision, that, Father, we shall take it forward, and Father, it will benefit us and the rest of the people in this world. We thank you, we trust in your goodwill, and we know that you who started this shall actually lead us until we get to the destination where we want to get to. We thank you, and in Jesus' name we have prayed and believed. Amen.
Thanks so much. Thanks, everyone. Have a very good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, everyone, for the contributions. Bye, members.
Bye.